warm one ahead of us today, but I know you're probably wondering about that snowstorm later this week, so let's talk about that. We'll be in the 60s this afternoon, chance for a little bit of isolated rain showers in the evening hours, but really gets messy starting on Wednesday. So here's what we know. Rain and snow and wind are going to be a part of this massive system that will span across much of the upper Midwest. There's still some big questions about exactly where this is going to line up this far out. I mean, we're still, 48 hours from this thing even beginning, more than that, as it'll get going on Wednesday night. It can shift 100 to 200 miles in that much time, but I think there's a pretty good likelihood we will see lots of snow in parts of Minnesota through Wednesday night into Friday morning. Southwestern Minnesota seems to be the most likely place to get hit hardest right now, but in the next 60 hours or so, still a lot that can change, so we'll keep an eye on that. For the day ahead, there's that rain up north, and I think we'll see some clearing here in the cities this afternoon. More sunshine into the second half of the day and some stronger winds. Look at those temps, though. 66 for a high here in the Twin Cities. Skies clear out tonight and a little bit of a cool down tomorrow. So if you got any outdoor activities to get them done over these next couple of days, because Wednesday is when things start to get messy. Well, unless you've been living under a rock, you know the NCAA championship game is tonight in downtown Minneapolis. And if you want to get in the building, you can do it for just about $100. But I want to show you what you're buying. These are the nosebleeds in US Bank Stadium. This was my seat on Saturday night. So I entered the lottery, like a lot of people did about a year ago, hoping I'd get a ticket. I did. I had the opportunity to pay $220 for all three games. It's about $70 a seat. Gets you in the building. I want to show you a little bit of a wider picture of what it looks like. So I'm pretty much eye level with the air ducts. But if I'm being honest, I think it was still worth it to kind of be in the building and feel the energy of a Final Four. Could I see what was happening on the court? No. Was it still fun? Yeah. So I want to know, would you pay $70? Would you pay $100? You know, imagine your team was in this thing. How much would you pay for one of those title game tickets? If you're watching on Facebook or on Twitter, leave a comment. We'll read a few of those coming up in just a little bit. So it's Virginia and Texas Tech playing for the title tonight. This is the first time either team has ever made it to a national championship game. Tip-off is at 8 at US Bank Stadium. You can watch the game, if you don't get a ticket, right here on WCCO. Of course, fans of both the Cavaliers and the Red Raiders have been in town all weekend. Today, they're going to hold pep rallies along Nicollet Mall. Then at 6 o'clock tonight, Fitz and the Tantrums. Yeah, I'll say that again. Fitz and the Tantrums will make your hands clap for free. There's a concert on the big stage at 11th in Nicollet. Then at 8, that same stage turns into a watch party for the championship game. It's also the last day of the Fan Fest at the Convention Center if you want to check that out. Well, did you check out any of the free shows in Minneapolis this weekend? Those might have been a tougher ticket than the game itself. Last night, Katy Perry was here. Let's go! Jonas Brothers, the Chainsmokers were also in town performing at the Armory over the weekend. St. Paul got a little bit of love, too, with an event centered around two of basketball's biggest personalities. This was the Celebrity Crunch Classic. Charles Barkley and Shaq were coaches for Team Priggles and Team Cheez-Its. Yeah, that's the crunch part of this. They coached some of the most recognizable players in Minnesota sports history. You saw Wally Zerbiak. There's Kyle Rudolph there as well. On Shaq's roster, though, that guy, a last-minute addition from St. Thomas.
Before the game, we had a pop-a shot, and I ended up winning it, so I got to be on Shaq's team. He gave me a hug pregame. I was kind of nervous, and it felt like I was hugging a brick wall.
That's pretty fun. I tell you who won, but who cares? Kyle Rudolph got the MVP, and one of the kids from Stranger Things was there. That was fun. There was also this fun moment during the game. Very low-key dance-off there. Shaq and internet star Spice Adams. Shaq's got better moves than that. He was holding back. Lots of people have been posting pictures, kind of getting around downtown Minneapolis. A couple of nice perks from my job. This one on Instagram, getting to see that Jonas Brothers show. Another one. I know one thing. I had a hell of a time this year, said Tom Izzo, one of the Spartans fans in downtown Minneapolis at that giant bracket, and then a Friday night fun with Viv outside of the giant Ferris wheel in downtown. Still plenty of opportunities to do that stuff today. In the nicer weather, good opportunity to take advantage of that as well. Hey, in other news this morning, the city of Moorhead is warning people to stay away from floodwaters. The Red River is forecasted to crest at 35 feet later today. It's a couple inches higher than it sits right now. Still nearly 6 feet, though, under the record set 10 years ago. This morning, jury selection resumes in the murder trial of former Minneapolis police officer Mohammed Noor, who shot and killed Justine Ruszczyk-Damon in July of 2017. The court needs 12 jurors and 4 alternates before the trial can begin. A new Homeland Security job is up this morning. Kirstjen Nielsen resigned yesterday. President Trump says U.S. Customs and Border Protection Commissioner Kevin McAleenan would take over as acting head. It's unclear if Nielsen was forced out or if this was her own decision. A comedy legend is coming back to the Twin Cities next week. Dave Chappelle is going to do a 4-day, 6-show residency at the Varsity Theater in Minneapolis. 2 shows from Sunday to Wednesday of next week. If you want to get tickets, they're going to be tough. They go on sale this Friday on Ticketmaster. All right, let's get back to today's talker. Tonight is the championship game out at U.S. Bank Stadium, Virginia and Texas Tech. Just who we all had there when we filled out our brackets a couple of weeks ago. You can get in for about $100, but the seats aren't ideal. This is my view from section 332, row 20, the very last row in U.S. Bank Stadium. There was literally just a wall behind me and air ducts in front of me. But I think it was still fun. I think it was still worth going. So I wanted to know, what would you pay for a seat like this to watch the title game? Our digital guy Cole is here, kind of reading the internet for us. And what's the reaction on this one, Cole?
We have Wendy saying, I would not pay more than $100 a seat.
Yeah, and I think you can get there for $100 a seat. There's going to be like fees and stuff like that.
And we have Chris saying, a Benjamin is not too much to ask for a seat at U.S. Bank Stadium.
You know what? Honestly, this is probably cheaper than most Vikings games. So you get in the building for that's pretty cool.
And we have Christy saying, for the seats Matt had, I personally wouldn't have paid more than $50.
You know, here's the secret. My mom bought the tickets.
Oh, there you go.
My ticket was free. Thanks, Mom.
And we have Elizabeth saying, I would possibly pay $50 for a nosebleed. Hopefully our team would be playing. Too bad. The Trimatron, is that what it's called?
Yeah, Jumbotron. I don't know what the official.
Didn't show what was going on in the court.
Yeah, so you see that blue screen there. So like during the game, that was the most visible thing, that giant blue screen. And I would look to that. I'm like, okay, can I see the action? No, they kept it like that because they said it was in the player's sight lines and it would have been a distraction. So you had the board kind of in the middle you could watch, but honestly, that was still too far away to really figure out what was going on. So you just kind of had to squint and just respond to the cheers and the boos of the crowd, which was still fun in its own right. Final Four in Minneapolis. Go. Why not? It's a good time. All right, that is it for now. This is the 734 from WCCO, a time when most of the Twin Cities are on the go. If you haven't already made us your home for mobile news, go ahead and do that. We'll be back here tomorrow with a new champion in college basketball. We'll see you back here at 734. Until then, be nice to each other on the internet.